than swift.
Just too good for Afghanistan was the might of India, and Rohit Sharma has made light work of a target of 273. India have made light work as they've bossed their way to a second win in this ICC Men's Cricket World Cup. 131 for the Indian captain, who is as good as he's been. Hundreds haven't come as frequently as they have before in his career, but 94 of those runs in boundaries, so they had their money's worth, the crowd at the Arun Jaitley Stadium. And we look back at that game that saw Afghanistan put up their best once they won the toss, batted first, and managed to put on what we thought was at least something. 272 courtesy Hashmatullah Shahidi, the captain, with 80, and Azmatullah Omarzai with 62. The class of Jasprit Bumrah on what was clearly a pretty good surface to bat on just showed. 4 for 39 of his 10. Pandya chipping in with a couple as well. And then slightly bizarre opening partnership of 156, where Kishan had about 7 or 8 at one point, but he's ended with a 47 of his own. Kohli registers back-to-back 50s. India register back-to-back wins. They'll stay in, and Anil Kumble to look back at what was perhaps the most difficult thing for a bowler when Rohit Sharma is on song. Anil.
Yeah, you just be a spectator and watch him play. He makes it look so easy, and the kind of shots that he played and the kind of power he generates is outstanding. I mean, you've seen so many knocks of Rohit Sharma, and this was a typical Rohit Sharma innings where he just took the game away from the opposition. He's done that many times, and it was very heartening to see the kind of performance that India has put up in this game. And the power play is something that I think Rohit sort of had a cue. You know, even after the last T20 World Cup, it was very imperative that he wanted to take that initiative in that power play. And we saw that even in the Asia Cup after that first not so promising start against Pakistan, but then when they eventually played Pakistan in the second game, both Shubman Gill and he were sort of dominating in that power play, and we saw that today as well with Rohit.
What happens to a bowler when Rohit Sharma gets into this kind of mood?
You kind of go into like a rabbit in the headlights kind of thing sometimes. You know, you've got to have a good captain, you've got to have good cricket awareness to know how to bowl to a guy like him. But when he's on song, it's pretty tough to stop. I thought Kishan might be the guy that might go, you know, guns blazing, being the dasher that he is. He would come in left-handed batter, and he might get some width from Faruqi, and he might get a couple bad balls. But it was Rohit, the hitman, that took them on. And the thing about him is that he plays good cricket shots off good cricket balls. So the guys would bowl a good ball, and he would still somehow manage to hit you over mid-off, over extra cover 4, 1 bounce 4 or 6 or something. And that is the Rohit that I've come to know, especially in the shorter format of the game in 2020. He likes to take bowlers on and doesn't kind of let you settle. And like you said, 96 runs come in boundaries.
Doesn't like to run a lot.
No, who likes to run? You know, when you can hit it like that, he doesn't have to. And he just makes it look so easy, but it's certainly not that easy to hit over the top through the line the way that he was doing.
This line that we hear many times of how easy Rohit Sharma makes it look, does it have almost a deeper effect on bowling to him? The fact that he doesn't look like the guy in front is actually having to work hard to hit boundaries. Does that in any way bruise the ego of the bowler?
Oh, certainly. You know, he's making it look so easy. You'd think at least if he was like thick edging one, or you know, like there was something to it, but he's kind of just standing there, he's hitting through the line, and it just tells you that this wicket is actually a very, very good batting wicket. And I think we said at the halfway stage that Afghanistan probably left 30 or 40 runs out there. And right now, you probably look at it in the way that India batted on it, they could have left certainly way more than that. Yeah. If India had batted first, I can only imagine what a score would have been close to similar to what South Africa did the other day. It is a really, really wonderful batting surface and tough for bowlers to bowl on.
Yeah, there would be some stats that also would be now in the cupboard of Rohit Sharma. He's India's most prolific six-hitter, and I think it's worthy that it's now come to Rohit Sharma. We've had some terrific batters, Anil, in your time even before. Something about Rohit Sharma and six hitting that just went together?
Yeah, it comes naturally to him.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen that closely when I was a part of Mumbai Indians as well. I mean, in terms of his shifting of gears is pretty smooth, so you can't even feel it, that it's going, you know, it's not like first gear to sixth gear. He's just in that third, fourth, and then suddenly he just keeps going and hitting sixes. And it looks, he has plenty of time when he's batting. It's not just that he hits it in one area. He hits it in all across the boundary. Extra cover, straight, mid wicket, and if someone bowls short, then he's had it as well. So he has a range of shots, and he's very comfortable doing it. And like Dale mentioned, I mean, just over the top comes naturally to him. And this was a perfect wicket. I mean, beautiful surface, small boundaries, so it's a bowler's nightmare.
Yeah, and I mean, small grounds just make it look worse because he hits it so deep. Sure, that's something that the fielding side's wondering. But as a result of this 100 at the back of the 5 that he got in 2019, this is now a significant personal milestone for Rohit Sharma as he goes past Sachin Tendulkar with 7 World Cup 100s. Tendulkar, of course, with the longevity he enjoyed, greater than any other in the sport, with 5 World Cups. It's not the kind of things that happens even to the best of cricketers. But what a wonderful personal milestone that is for Rohit Sharma to get to 700s and go past Tendulkar. Anil?
In 19 innings. That's outstanding.
That's ridiculous, really.
Yeah, it's just so it goes to show that if he gets a start, he's going to get 100. It's very simple. Either if you have to get past Rohit, then you need to sort of get him early. Otherwise, you're in trouble as an opposition. I think that's exactly what the statement is. If you're an opposition and wanting to play India, you will have to get Rohit early. Otherwise, he's going to get 100. Yeah,
6 editions of the World Cup for Tendulkar was just trying to roll back at it. So, and Rohit Sharma, as we all remember, was not picked in 2011. So he's at 15, 19, 23. This is only his 3rd World Cup, and it's only just begun.
No, it's amazing. Honestly, that's a wonderful record. And I look at the other guys that are just below him.
Ponting's there.
Ponting, Sangha, and those innings that it took for them to get there. 19 innings to score 700s. That's pretty remarkable. Wonderful batting. And 5 of them came in the last World Cup where you think England is going to be pretty tough to bat on. It can get really flat there, but still, mentally you've got to prepare yourself to go over there and score it. You're not thinking subcontinent open the batting where you get your best opportunity. You're thinking England, there's always going to be something about them. So 500s in that last World Cup, starting this one with another 100, and we still got a whole competition to go. Who knows where you could finish it?
Oof. Well, it's a long tournament right now if your opposition bowlers lining up against Rohit Sharma. But could today's opposition bowlers have done anything at all to keep him quiet? I'm almost struggling to get the question across. But to just stay in the game, it looked like after a point, there's no stopping the carnage.
Yeah, it's tough. It really is tough. Maybe, you're going to start. I'm not too sure, really, what you could do. When someone's going like that, it's tough to stop the bleeding, but you need to find a way. I suppose there's some ways that you can try and bowl to the other batters. That's what we always kind of talk about. It's find your best ball to get to the in batter, to give him one and bowl to somebody else. But Ishan just seemed to be a spectator there. When they had a 100-run partnership, he wasn't on much. Rohit was absolutely flying and taking the bulk of the deliveries too. So it's tough when you're a bowler on these flat decks. But you kind of have to find a way not to get him out, but to kind of suffocate him off strike, bowl to the other guy, and then that way he might end up hanging himself and getting himself out. But in this case, it was just not the case. Rohit was just flying from the get-go.
And also, there was no way that he was looking to take a single. Even if you wanted to give him, he was just waiting, saying, okay, I'm going to hit your boundaries. So it's in this kind of a mood, on this kind of a surface, it's extremely difficult. You just hope that
he misses one.
He misses one. And
which happened at 130.
Yeah, 130. You hope that it's when he's 30 or 40, and then try and get your way into the game.
We spoke a lot about Afghanistan pre-show, Anil, on what they need to do to improve as an ODI side. And I think performances like this, especially at the back of losing so badly to Bangladesh, that was a game you thought they should at least come close, if not win. Now this seems like this could be a very long tournament for them. If I may say, the Netherlands seem to have more about them than Afghanistan, which would be concerning, I guess, if you were trying to follow the growth of Afghanistan cricket. But what can they do to improve?
Yeah, possibly get Noor Ahmed in. That's one option. They have that as a left arm option. Try and bring him in. It's difficult. I thought they batted well. We spoke about their longevity in this 50 over format in terms of getting their batters to bat till the 30th, 40th over, which they did. Middle order was pretty good. They got to a decent score, 270. On this surface, of course, against this lineup, it was tough. But they're getting there. It's just that I feel you have some tired legs there, and some, you need to bring in fresh blood, introduce Noor perhaps in the next game, and then see where they go, because you need that infusion of young talent coming in a World Cup. Put them in a big stage and see how they perform, because Afghanistan is a good side, and you need to sort of continue the lineage of the Rashids and Mujibs, and then get these guys in. So that's possibly one option that they can do in this tournament. But having said that, they need to certainly get the runs, get the batting runs, and then bowling. I mean, they struggled because it was thanks to Rohit.
Yeah, interesting point Anil makes, because Noor Ahmed is something, it's like a point of difference that Afghanistan have, second Rashid. You almost sense they've got to do that. Right now they're trying to play how ODI cricket needs to be played, and they're falling well short of the rest of the club. Yeah,
in the batting I thought they were better today. We spoke about before the game started what they needed to do, and they needed to apply themselves, they needed a little bit more patience, and they needed to bat longer. So they had that come with the bat. When it comes with the ball though, I think they might need to look for future World Cups. What they might need is somebody with some pace, real pace, that they can get into the team. And you saw Bumrah today on that wicket. The extra pace was what made the difference. When South Africa played against Sri Lanka, you had the pace of Marco Jansen and KG Rabada, which did for Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka didn't have that. They had their bowling struggled, and so did Afghanistan's bowling today. So in future they might need to look at investing or finding someone that's got some pace and really investing in that player to train them and teach them how to control their line and length. But that might be the difference in future tournaments. But the batting showed today that they can apply themselves, and they can bat for long periods of time. So box ticked there. Next thing is move on to the next game and find a way in how they're going to take wickets, because they lack that today. On flat surfaces, it's always difficult.
We were hoping for some spice, or at least you were hoping for some spice. I know I was too. It looked like the hatchet has been buried, as there was a nice side hug and a nice light moment between Virat and Naveen in that second innings.
When I called for my food order, I said mild, no spice, and the same thing happened in the game. But really good. I actually think that it was good. You don't want to see something happen that happened, say, in the World Cup, in the IPL happen. Both are true professionals, and they went about playing hard. But none of that stuff got in the way, which is good to see. But there was certainly, I can tell you that inside there's a will to not get out, and there's a will to get wickets that they were both holding in. But it was well done, well managed. I thought they were both brilliant on the field.
No, and I think the two of them would be fine. The problem is the world, the dangerous world we're in, where I know that Naveen has been quite viciously trolled, or you'll have those that will have a go at him. Even Virat Kohli would never give that the blessing, but it's important, these gestures at times, to just control things off air. Otherwise some of these things can affect young players. Naveen is still young.
Oh yes, it can. I mean, it was played at Virat's hometown, so it's all the more that these things just settled in, and you don't want this to continue and spill over into the next time that these two come against each other.
Right, that is pretty much it from this particular game. India have had their workout, they've brushed Australia aside, they've brushed Afghanistan aside. Now, all roads lead to Ahmedabad. We've had one game, the opening one, England-New Zealand. I wonder what we can learn from it, because India would have said, right, we've given Ashwin a go on a turner and Shardul a go on a flat track. Now comes Pakistan. Are they fully prepared with every box ticked, and do they know what kind of bowler they want there? Because that seems to be the only selection call now, that Shubman Gill looks unlikely to make it there too.
Likely that India is going to change, from Shardul Thakur to Shami. I mean, that's the only possible change. If it's a spin, then obviously Ashwin comes in. So unlikely that they're going to change. Although Shami, when he plays in the IPL, that's where he plays, and he's a fantastic bowler. We know that, but unlikely that India will look to change from this playing 11. If the surface is what we saw when New Zealand played England. New Zealand played England.
Yes. Are we expecting this to just be a conditions call then? Or have you looked at Ashwin and looked at Shardul and said, because even today maybe you could think, oh, Jadeja and Kuldeep bowled well, maybe we could have gone in with Ashwin as a third spinner, even on a flat track.
Yeah, I suppose you could have. But I think they watched the game that South Africa played the other day, and that seamer was probably more effective. But it will be a conditions call. They'll arrive. Everyone's had a go out now, besides some of the guys that are sitting on the fence for them. but your likes of Shardul's had a game, Ashwin's had a game, everyone's performed, everyone's done fine, they've won 2 games. Pakistan also looking like they're good, their batters, they've changed their opening batters, they've won. So it's panning out to be a real good game, and it could boil down to the old toss to see what happens and what those conditions look like. But right now it's looking like it's going to be a good matchup between those 2 teams.
Yeah, well, we wait for the weekend. Both India and Afghanistan do as well. India play on Saturday, Pakistan at Ahmedabad, and Afghanistan remain in Delhi, where England will now visit. My word, if England play the way they are expected to when it's good batting conditions, Afghanistan have their work cut out. But more on that later. For now, that's all the time that we've got. Big thank you to Anil Kumble and Dale Steyn. India-Pakistan is for later. We've got a big rivalry coming up tomorrow. Australia-South Africa is very
biggest one of the competition so far.
But it has a lot riding on it for South Africa to get the job
done.
done.
A close game.
Massive. It would be good to have a close game.
Yeah, it's been
Australia and South
matches.
Africa don't do that, do they? Yeah.
9-9?
Yeah, well, let's hope for it. Let's hope for it. Anil and Dale, I am delighted that we'll be together for that game, so I look forward to your company then. And let me give these hard-working gentlemen the early evening that they deserve, although they should send their appreciation to Rohit Sharma. India's net run rate will also be boosted by this, and if it does turn out to be a close tournament towards the end of the league phase, always helps to get these kind of wins under your belt. That's pretty much it. Join us tomorrow for Australia-South Africa. Till then, from all of us on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Matchday. Make sure you firstly download the app and get covered with everything that happens from the world of cricket, of which there is plenty. And yes, we'll see you tomorrow for the big one in Lucknow. Good night.
Stunning looks, then swift,